No, but
yeah.
okay. I have a couple questions for you that
All
I
right,
wanted
yeah,
to
shoot
ask
away.
that we didn't really get. There was no natural point to ask, so I'll just throw them out now.
Sure.
Okay, what's your least liked mode or thing about Warframe? Doesn't have to be something where DE failed necessarily or anything like that. Just what is it that you find kind of boring or distasteful even about playing Warframe?
Yeah, my least liked mode is definitely um, defense missions. I find them really boring. Um, it just yeah, I used to find them fun until I realized that nobody really works as a team in those. Like I tend to play zone defense quite a lot on defense missions or even survival missions, mainly defense missions. I think that's a time for a team to shine. And if you're not playing in a team that has good communication, it just becomes just random hallway hero kind of bullshit, and nobody defending the artifact or whatever it is, and yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
definitely. Definitely. You just hit on something that I wish we could have talked about earlier, which is to do with the PS4 experience and how it's different. Would you like
Ah,
to talk
yes,
about that a bit?
communication.
Well, communication's huge. Yeah. Would you like to talk about it a bit?
Yeah, sure. The ultimate goal, I think, even with games, is that whole, and I think we're gonna get in. This is kind of a transition, but is communication, and connection. And without that, it's just kind of, I'm playing this game and it's fun, but what extends a game's life is that whole communication and connection to your clanmates or the community of the game itself.
Well, exactly. What DE has here is an opportunity to update a game and keep it fresh and interesting as far as the mechanics and content goes. And also, since it's online and you're connected with so many people, have a chance to foster a real tight community feel and everything. And I wish we could like rate players, maybe,
Yeah,
as long as you could find a way to maybe make it not abusive. But it would be really cool to find people positively rating others,
I don't know.
right?
I'd like to abuse some of the players I run into. I really would.
Oh yeah. So anyway, with communication in particular, you mentioned, and I even mentioned this in my Thanks DE thread again, something that I talked about. I said, Vindictus wanted the community interaction to get better, so they added a Facebook icon just bolted right on their UI. And I
Huh.
thought that was the most terrible idea ever. And I said, please don't put a Twitter or Facebook icon right in Warframe. That would just,
Yeah.
ugh. And Steve made some jokes about that, and that was hilarious. But the other thing about that is, though, we have forums, and some of that's pretty toxic, and some of it's very uplifting.
Right.
Um, but the in-game stuff on the computer versus the PlayStation is extremely different. It couldn't be different, more different, I swear to you. Um, if I can just give you an idea of what it's like to play on the PS4 compared to the computer, I just talked about it a little
Yeah.
bit.
Please. Yeah.
Um, if you're loading up a mission on the PS4, it's not so much expected as in a demand, but just assumed, I guess, that you have your microphone plugged in, your headphones on, and you're going to be able to talk and relay information like that. So the integrated voice chat is definitely a benefit of playing on there. That's something that the computer experience doesn't have. It might technically be available, but it's not viable. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Um, People play with it muted and have music on. They have their headphones in the ground, whatever. On the PS4, the reason why we did 70 wave ODDs, which would make you cry in the fetal position from boredom,
Yeah.
is because we would sit and talk the whole time.
Right.
Like we would blink and it would be 35, and we're like, oh, we're in ODD, right?
Right. Right.
Like,
Yeah. That can make
and
the
then we'd
difference.
blink again and it would be 55. And we're like, hey, we just talked about like 18 different things and that was a lot of fun. Do you guys
Yeah.
want to go yet? Nah, it's not hard yet,
Yep.
So it was a much different experience as far as that goes. I mean, it also works in the other direction where this one time I remember we were in this, I want to say we were killing Alid V, and this guy rushed like he must have had like a Nova with max rush, and he
Yeah.
was just blowing through the level as fast as you could possibly can in the game. And he got to extraction, and he was the first one there. Everybody else was at least a tile away, a couple tiles away, and he just started yelling at us over the mic, of course, um, like everybody who looks like you, who has the same name as you, who's the same ethnicity as you, is everybody can just die and you should get your heads cut off. Like this whole big tirade of just
Don't you
anger. And
have
I
on
was like,
consoles the option of muting people?
yes, it does.
Oh, okay. All right.
And the best part is if you mute them in one mission and you get into a mission with them later,
Yeah.
they are still muted. So,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, this guy takes it way too seriously. But that's, I take that with the positives too. And I would say that overall it's a much better experience as far as communication goes. On the computer version, as you're well aware, if anybody wants to relay information, you got to stop, type, you're dying while you're doing it. And voice chat really isn't a viable
It's
medium
really
for
not
communication.
great.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
Not
one
only
of the
that, but at least on the PS4, you kind of have somewhat, or consoles in general, your microphones are limited in a sense where you know you're going to get a certain quality. I don't play with certain friends that I know in real life that are my friends that have been my friends for years because their mics are shitty. Or because they do this thing where they leave, if they have a lot of sound, like the computer speakers right next to the mic, I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, please, I don't want to hear myself through your stuff coming through, and it's
You know
the
what?
worst.
At console launch, we got a lot of that too. It was pretty terrible. I actually shut off voice chat, and I tried to play as quietly as possible, and it actually sucked me into the game more, to be completely honest. It was an amazing, great experience. But as people went on, they got better mics, and that stopped happening so much. So
What I have to say about that for the PC is push to talk is a thing for a reason.
exactly. I wished so bad when I was first playing, when those microphones first came out, the ones that came with the PS4 were so bad. I was like, please implement push to talk, please.
Yeah.
This is awful. And like people on the phone, oh God, why are you on? Put the phone down and walk away and play the game. Or
Mute yourself.
put the controller down and walk away. You know what I mean? Just pick one. And then the other thing was, and this is actually pretty sad, and I don't want to get into the details out of the respect for the individual, but I became friends with somebody on PlayStation, on the PlayStation Network, and we talk outside of the game now. And he was delivered some very tragic news right there, and the microphones don't mute very easily and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So his personal life was getting broadcast
Right.
over the freaking network, over the mic, without any say on his part. And I was just like, this seems to me like it's a bigger issue than just simply some feedback and stuff, which is annoying. Don't get me wrong, but like, this is kind of, I don't feel right hearing this. I wasn't meant to hear this.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
crazy.
So,
yeah. Well, that could just be communication issues in general. All right. Well.
yes. First of all, you never answer. What are your favorite weapons? What do you use? What do you like?
Geez. Favorite weapons? Let's say for primaries. I don't know. I kind of fluctuate between a lot of different things. I would say, no, I already know. Dread. Dread is my ultimate all-time favorite primary weapon. There may be more damaging. There may be, better whatever. But Dread is like, I have a love for that bow. That's not, we'll just leave it at that. I love that bow.
Dread is my favorite bow, easily. It's a great bow.
I did so much gameplay with it. And I did so many amazing shots that were never recorded, ever. Never going to be seen. I'm just going to have to take my word for it. I was the best with it. And I was playing with a friend that we both are old school gamers. And, we both have these, lead the target kind of, bow mechanics that we know about in games. And we were talking about how good it was, And at the time, I think Paris Prime was the big shit. And I was like, yeah, people just don't know. Dread's where it's at, man.
Definitely. There's just something about it. It's got its charm,
And it just looks awesome too. Well, I actually like the look of the Ceranos a lot as well. It looks kind of cool. But
it looks cool, but the damn thing's useless.
Yeah, it's. I'll use it every once in a while just because it looks neat, especially on my Volt. But otherwise, it's not so great.
What's weird is it looks even cooler on your back.
It does. That's exactly why I equip it. That's pretty fucking vain, but that's exactly why I would equip it.
That's great. So let me get this straight. You equip a primary just to use a different weapon so that you get to see it on your back?
Oh, yeah. I would be meleeing,
awesome.
For example. But I just want to see that, Ceranos on Volt's back specifically looks really fucking cool. So,
I thought Nova looks like wings or something.
Anyway. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it looks like wings or something, like deadly wings.
Yeah.
Secondary, that's a really tough one because, like I said, I had very few secondaries until recently when I just started Spectra, I used to really love the Spectra, and it kind of changed a bit. And I know it's an odd weapon to like, but I had very specific uses for it. I used it as a knockdown type of weapon.
Oh, because of the high status, you'd use
Yeah,
it with
exactly.
blast. Okay.
So when
You know what I
blast
call
became
that
a thing.
weapon? The James Bond watch.
Oh yeah.
It shoots a little laser like James
Oh
Bond on
no
his
no no
watch.
yeah totally.
Laser.
It's the silliest thing, and I would just go around like firing really fast with it, just it shooting out that little beam for no reason. And it was just a silly gun, and I liked it. It had utility and it was fun, but it's not my favorite. I would say it's really hard. Probably the Akvasto are my favorite, just in the way they look, and they're pretty powerful. And my dual Sestra, on the other hand, are a very close second. They're
I remember the first time I saw you bring those into a mission, I was like, why is it raining lasers?
they're ridiculous. They're just silly, and I like that about them. They're not once again they're not the highest damaging. But they're so ridiculous to use. They're pretty decent to use. Don't get me wrong. I would bring them into higher level gameplay, but I just like that they're so. I think I have them. What do I have them maxed with right now? Like 140 magazine. So yeah, that's crazy. Otherwise, I really enjoy the Akhlato.
All right, and your melee?
Oh, jeez. It's gonna
I
go
know.
Kogake on there. I used the Kogake for so long, and they're my favorite above everything. Above everything.
I wouldn't have guessed that, really, honestly. I know you even said that you like them so much, but I really wouldn't have guessed that as I don't know. I guess they're just not my thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fist weapons and stuff, just not my.
I have a lot of close seconds though, like the ceramic dagger for reasons I had. It was actually a pretty decent weapon. It got adjusted a little bit, so it's not as great as it used to be. Fang Prime is also another high up there on the list. I know that people really enjoy the dual I-Core, and I really find that they're very useful too, but there's something about them that I don't really enjoy. It could be just how they attack, and they're really powerful, don't get me wrong. I just don't like them as much as like the Fang Prime or even the Furax.
I call them Ickers. I guess I-Core. I don't know how you say
I don't
it.
know. I think everybody else calls them what you said.
Icker? Icker? Yeah. Anyway, the dual Ickers are definitely ones that I bust out quite often when I have to Zoran copter because they're ridiculous for that.
There are weapons out here there are weapons that really allow you to copter so well that people just don't really think about. Yeah, that's one of those little things little peeves that I have, Like the bow. People didn't realize how well you could copter with it, and I'm like, you guys just don't know. That's why I do these videos, so you can see these underrated weapons or whatever, So
Yeah.
because people that way they don't have to always go to one weapon because that's like the primary awesome weapon. No, there's some really good weapons out there, like the Bolto. I just started using that. And for a rank 0 pistol, it's pretty damn good,
So then my other question. I should follow up on that. Yes, I've used the Bolto and the Ak Bolto, and those were some of my favorites on the PS4. I have not gotten around to making them again.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time since I used them, so I don't have much to say. I don't know if they've been adjusted or not.
They're
Do you
not
know if
bad
they're
for low-level
any
play.
different than they used to be?
They're not bad for low-level to mid-level play, I'll tell you that.
Okay, so they're probably about the same as they used to be.
Probably.
Okay, yeah. So my other question, which I can't remember now. Oh, yeah. What do you think about DE locking tier 4 keys behind interception missions, which, let's face it, are not everybody's favorite mode?
Yeah, my heart just sank a little when you said interception, because I remember how it was, which was pretty frantic. And maybe part of that had to do with the fact that it was on Earth, which was kind of a gateway for low-ranking players. And they were just kind of... I don't know, I really enjoyed getting thrown in with people that didn't know what the hell they were doing. And, needed that direction and leadership. I enjoyed that, even though I don't enjoy it. It's weird, complicated. But it was so fun because it was so frantic, like picking up people that were, getting knocked down and securing positions and just flipping all over the map as my speedy volt. It was really fun. Now I find it extremely boring. And the reason why is because it seems like the spawn rate just really tanked for some reason, and it just seems really just overall boring and slow.
Well, that's one of the adjustments they made was make everything spawn a whole lot less. I mean,
Yeah.
they definitely spelled it out in the patch notes that it was a severe adjustment.
Yeah, T4 keys being locked just behind that, I think, is kind of a mistake. I know what they're doing, though. They're trying to force people to play that so they can get more feedback about interception. But I don't think that they really need to do that in the future, and they probably will end up changing it. I'm hoping, you know. These are
Oh,
all my ideas as a developer. What would I do in order to get feedback on this thing that we just made a major change on? You force people to funnel through it. So,
of course, yeah.
yeah. But I
Um,
think it's really terrible right now. It's really boring, and I hate it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that for different reasons, a little bit perhaps, but I like you said, I understand that they want to get some feedback on there, and the only way to get people to play it, put the new hotness right behind it, right?
Yeah, yep.
But I'll wait. I'm of that camp where I can be patient. I don't rush things for platinum. I don't jump on the thing the first day that it comes out. I'm
Yeah,
not trying to get to the highest mastery rank immediately. I'll just play what I play, and
yep. Totally agree.
so that was kind of another question I was going to ask is how do you manage Warframe in the sense of platinum and grinding and farming and is there any sort of like crazy outliner where you probably I don't want to say should have as in like it was a necessity but like you there was pressure to build something and you just waited so long until finally building it and maybe finally got to see that hey this actually wasn't so bad or that kind of thing how do you there's kind of two questions there how do you work with Warframe in general I guess
Well, I think that ties in a little to my channel as well. And when you play a game and you have content that you're outputting for people that apparently are watching it for whatever reason, and you know that other people were doing the same thing, it's like, well, how do you not get the Venka the day that it's out, level it up all the way, and then output a video that you know is going to get a lot of hits? Um, I kind of have to not care. I can only do what I can do. I already know other YouTubers that are gonna like say like the Venka. I know one guy, Potato Powered. He's amazing at that. He will get pretty much everything same day, rank it up pretty much that same day, and output a pretty damn high quality video. If not that day, then the next day. And to me,
that's pretty
that's like
amazing
it's amazing. It's like I do not have that level of ability. Um, and I'm not going to make any excuses for me, or I'm not going to knock him down and say, well, he doesn't have a life. No, that's bullshit. I know he has kids. I know he's got a life and all that. So whatever he needs to do to get that information, I take it as a thanks, man, for putting that out for all of us.
exactly
That's pretty awesome because it gives me an idea as a YouTuber as well to say, am I even going to, put up a vid on this? Or is it worth it? Because let's say Magamu or they may Potato Powered or Magamu, they'll have opinions about certain weapons based on like really high level gameplay. They tend to be of the DPS or not DPS camp, but of the damage camp. I'll put it that way. It's like if it doesn't have those stats or those numbers, then they're probably not going to recommend it. And I come
okay
from I'm usually like diametrically opposed to that. Not in a I think your way of playing a shit, but in this is the way that I view it, and that's why I do this. Because I know there's other people that may not just look at numbers. So you can find some fun and utility where other people didn't. So
I remember going back to some of your earlier videos when I first started on the PS4 I had no idea what was going on in update 11 there wasn't much of a tutorial at all of
yeah,
anything like they just dumped you in here's the star map figure something out buddy it's
yeah.
like so I had to go look up videos and yours is the one that I happened upon and I saw your name and then that was another thing too your video was on the computer I think that's what clued me into the fact that there was a computer version
Oh, right.
and I saw your name in the UI, and I said, "I'm gonna go tell that guy thank you."
Yeah, no, yeah, it's
But
cool. It's really cool. Like when I'm playing sometimes, and people will be like, "Hey, just wanted to say thanks" or whatever, and that was it. You're one of the few people that was like, "Just wanted to say thanks. Hey, how's it going?" And then the next day goes by, "Hey, buddy, what's going on?" And kind
I
of
don't want
going
anything. I
from
just
there.
want to tell you thank you.
Yeah. Just want to say thanks
No,
again.
but I think one of the reasons why I latched on, if you will, to your videos on how it works and everything is you explained it in a way that not just like logic and stuff, but as far as attitude and sort of position towards the game goes, I
Right.
definitely agree. One of the things that you said was, you could rush it for platinum, but why would you? How fucking impatient are you? And I
Right.
was like, I like this guy.
Well,
He thinks
because
like
I think at
me.
the time there was a lot of like, Warframe is dropping everything behind paywalls, paywall, 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 and I was like, is it really a paywall though, or is it just more of an impatience wall?
That's exactly what it
If you
is.
don't
It's
have
a
the
time
patience for it,
Yep.
these things are not required. You don't need them, but
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, it's
It's
a hype wall and a patience wall.
exactly a hype wall for sure. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. You see
definitely.
the day things like a new Prime comes out, you see people walking around and they got the new icon and everything, and you're just like, really?
Yeah. Oh man, Loki Prime came out, and I saw Loki Prime, and I know people were like, "That thing looks like a goat head," and I'm like, "It looks like a really cool goat head to me." I was like, "This is definitely bling frame," and I can get hyped up about stuff too. It's just I'm not always,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I
But at
just
the
don't
same
need it day
time,
zero, you know?
yeah, at the same time, I was not gonna drop any money for that. I was just like, I can wait on that. If it comes, it comes. If not, yeah, that's cool. I'm not
And I'd
gonna
like to
get
say again, just like you've been saying, I'm only speaking for myself. If somebody
yeah,
else wants to do it, good for you. Great. Go enjoy it. Heck
absolutely.
yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah, and I think there was another thing that somebody said in the comments recently about my opinions, that I should take more of a kind of like a more of a politician's kind of stance on my answering questions or how I comment about things. And I was like, yeah, the day I do that, I stop playing games because it's
Yeah.
games, it's video games. I'm not gonna. That makes no sense to me. I'm not gonna agree with everyone. Not everyone's gonna agree with me. I'm gonna take a stance that nobody likes, and I'm gonna take a stance that other people like. So the day that I do not have my own personal opinion, then I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing. You know?
Exactly. There's no
Yeah,
point to it then.
yeah. I started making these vids because it was my view, and I figured other people might actually have that, even if there was like five, and that was it. Because once again, it's still a little bit about communication and connection, saying, "Hey, man, this thing was really cool, right? Yeah, I thought so too. Cool, awesome. All right,
Yeah, exactly. And you've made me rethink the way that I play Melee. I mean, I've always liked Melee. I mean, my fiance here can back me up on that. Ever since the first little bit, I was like, hey, I want to swing some swords around. Yeah, guns are fun, but
yeah,
I want to get in somebody's face about it. Let's make
yeah,
it personal, so to
yeah.
speak.
No, it's fun.
And since Melee 2.0, I personally, although of course there are different ways to do everything, and there's
Yes,
plenty of solutions to this problem, I think they did a very good job. I'm happy with it for the most part.
it's
Um,
really fun. I find it
the,
very fun. I
the
find,
combos,
yeah,
I understand it. I understand what they're doing, but it's almost like every time I'm doing a different stance, I feel like I'm playing a different video game with a different set of combos. It's really hard to keep it all straight. But
it is, and
other
you
than
can,
that, that's
yeah,
my only gripe. So, but as far as Melee goes, you've made me rethink about where I am, who's around me, and
mm-hmm,
what I could be doing to get the hell out of the way.
yeah.
So-
It's a different game when you try
yeah,
to mostly melee.
yeah, for sure. No, then later in a dead stream, they addressed the issue and they said, you're going to have to make that choice when you start the mission that, hey, maybe I need to bring a pistol. Maybe I need to bring something else just to help out. You don't have to use it all the time, but just have it. And I was like, I think I agree with this.
Yeah,
And that leads into one more thing I'd like to say about the newest patch and my frustrations with that, which I can just sum up very easily. They wanted to make additions to the game play itself, the dynamics of playing Warframe, and I totally love that. And when I watched the prototypes and the dev stream and all that, I was very excited, and I still am. I want to see how it comes out. But I don't think they realized how much of the game they were touching because things like ODD or very specific tiles in a tile set
right.
might not make sense with these new enemy types.
Yeah,
There's certain rough edges there that they just don't mesh, and I think there needs to be some adjustments there. So we'll see how it works. But
no, it's true. I don't without that understanding of what their end game is, or what their end goal is. End game's a bad phrase to use there. What their end goal, or what their final vision is, and that's kind of where I sometimes feel like maybe they just don't have one.
yeah, for sure.
It just becomes a what my hope is that they're just throwing all of these things out there, seeing what works, and maybe somewhere somebody is notating all of the things that do work, and they're somehow crafting that into a nice game. Because right now there's just a lot of pieces that, hey, this is fun. Oh, well, this kind of thing is fun. Well, this is broken over here, and oh, that's broken. Well, I mean, if I play it this way, it's it's like if you were driving a car and the steering wheel's on one side and the gas is on the other side of the car, and the brake is on an opposite end of the car. It's like, well, I could technically drive this if I had another person in the car pressing the gas, I'm steering, and someone in the back is hitting the brake on occasion. I mean, this works. This is it's really fun when it does work, But
that sounds like a nightmare I might have had sometime.
Yeah, it's and I'm being a little rough on DE, but that's the thing. It's that's kind of what I thought was funny about them picking me as a fan channel. But I'm pretty sure we were just the first round, and I'm pretty sure that I really don't know. It's that thing about looking a gift horse in the mouth, but it's going to be a good thing for everyone that subscribes to the channel or that's already subscribed or watches the videos, because I'm just going to get stuff from DE to give away, which is kind of cool. So
that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's something else that you said right there, is you can't look a gift horse in the mouth. And I know it's such an old saying and everything, but that's a good point in that it's a free game, so what the hell are you entitled to anyway? But then, like I said to you before, when people buy Platinum and they spend it, they feel...
You mean I can't demand that DE release something when they said they were going to release it if it's going to be the next day? I should just throw a fit, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you said today it was going to get released at before midnight. Yeah. Those things are a little silly. I mean, I do understand about deadlines. I have to. It's what I do a lot for, my job. But at the same time, I also understand from the developer's perspective and the idea that, do you want a broken product? I mean, how broken do you want it?
Some people like that. I mean, some people like playing with all the pieces like you were talking about. And sometimes people feel like they're just a guinea pig and they don't like that. So
yeah.
It'll be interesting to see when they decide and what prompts the decision to finally call it a finished product that they're now going to iterate on.
Yeah.